What is up, YouTube? Colin back for another video. I'm going to respond to a video. Dr. Oz and Mark Wahlberg feud over breakfast. Now, of course, it's fun and games. There is something educational here. There's something telling here, more particularly on Wahlberg's side. And I want to talk about that because this is a common fallacy that a lot of people fall into when they look at people that have a certain physique that they might want, or that has a certain popularity, fame, etc. that they might want. I mean, you know, like people look up celebrities, just what it comes down to. But celebrities are celebrities. They're professionals at being a celebrity. They're not professionals at nutrition, for example, or fitness or whatever. And yet you see a lot of times you look up to these people, and even if they have a nice physique, you think, oh, well, they know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. Look at their body. Look what they've done. But the problem with that is the N equals 1 fallacy, right? It's one person, N being the variable. How many variables in a study, for example, if you have 1,000, if N is 1,000, you have 1,000 people that you can use to pull data from to try to make, you know, correlations or causation. Whereas in something like this, you have literally one person who has an opinion, and he happened to use this with his own health. And if it works for him, great. But the problem comes when people look up to that. They think, oh, well, if he's doing it, I should do it. If he's not doing it, I shouldn't do it. So let's get into it. Let's look at this video right here.
Has recently been promoting intermittent fasting, which basically means you only eat during an 8-hour window each day. Now, someone who is not on board with this is Mark Wahlberg.
Oh.
The doc, and yes, right, Mark Wahlberg. The doc and Mark have been coming after each other on Instagram, and the doc revealed on the Today Show yesterday how they are going to need to settle this.
Mark, I heard you said that I was dead wrong when it comes to canceling breakfast. Well, powerful medical literature and lots of athletes support me and show that intermittent fasting flips the metabolic switch, so it bolsters your physical and your mental performance. I last ate 12 hours ago, but thankfully my liver, it stored lots of energy, plenty of energy for the intensity workout that mere mortals like me do, but maybe for you too.
Dr. Oz. What's up, buddy? This is Dr. Chris Vincent. Listen, we got beef now, all right? We don't want this smoke, trust me. This guy's been telling me about the ketone diet, bone broth, 3-day fast, all this nonsense forever, all right? If you want to challenge me, I'll come hungover, eat a big steak, and you can do your little 20 push-ups with one leg and your assisted pull-up. I'm telling you, you'll need a defibrillator when I'm done with you. All right? I'm the real thing. It's 30 years of training. I can't even take my vitamins and digest it without any food. Okay? You gotta have food. Food is your friend.
Oh, hey, Mark. Listen, I watched the video and heard the taunting, but I didn't see any push-ups being done. Certainly not one-legged push-ups. Anyway, I'm all here about working out, and, well, you know, I would eat normally, but I skipped breakfast, skipped lunch. I feel stronger than ever because I'm intermittent fasting.
Man, I seen that little trick, Dr. Oz. What was he doing? One-legged push-up. Tell you what, come see me. I'm about to work out now. I don't know if I need to, but I'm coming for you, Dr. Oz. Okay? Now, we really got beef.
My point to Mark is, as great as you look now, for the average human being to get there is difficult. Most of us, smart thing to do is skip breakfast, work out as hard as you can. You may not do what Mark can do, but do as much as you can, and you're going to look better because you burn fat, not the food in your stomach while you exercise.
How are y'all going to resolve this whole thing?
Yeah,
What's the... Yeah.
The only way...
Okay, so Dr. Oz, you know, whether you like him, don't like him, hate him, whatever, I don't know. I don't really care either way. I don't follow him or anything. In this regard, he's right. Intermittent fasting is one of the best things that humans can do. And in this way, Mark Wahlberg is wrong. And, you know, I don't know how serious he's being. I mean, they probably got biased, but the problem is, like he talked about, he used the N equals 1. I've been lifting for 30 years, right? And whether or not he's been doing GH or steroids or anything like that is to be said. We don't know what's going on with that, right? One person could use intermittent fasting to get results, and one person could use eating breakfast every morning to get results, right? Especially when they've been doing it for so many years, especially when they have other things dialed in. Mark has been training for years. He's probably been watching his nutrition for years. You know, he started out as a boy in a boy band, or it was a boy band, right? And then he turned into like a solo heartthrob career, and then he got into then he got into acting. It's like, obviously he's paying attention to his nutrition and his training, and he did get big from what he used to be. So whether or not he did a cycle or he does them every so often remains to be seen. But aside from all that, the point here is Wahlberg is misconstrued. He's misinformed. He's confused about a few things. He probably thinks that you're not eating food and you need to get your calories in. You need to digest your vitamins, this and that, right? And yeah, there are fat-soluble vitamins that you have to get through food and to help absorb and digest certain foods. Absolutely right. But this is the common misconception that everybody gets wrong when it comes to fasting. People think that fasting is about eating less calories. Okay, people think fasting is about eating less calories. Now, prolonged fasting is, obviously, right? You go a whole day with no food, well, it's less calories than you ate yesterday. That is definitely calorie restriction. But intermittent fasting is just meal timing. When do you eat your meals? Do you eat your meals spaced out through the day, every 2 hours, every 3 hours? Or do you take the same amount of calories and you put it into a window called your feeding window. And in this example, what they're talking about and what Dr. Oz is referring to is putting your meals into an 8-hour feeding window. And this is how I got started with fasting. It's the best. I think everybody generally should skip breakfast because a lot of the hormonal issues with waking up, and a lot of people don't even have an appetite in the morning. If you've trained your body to eat breakfast every morning, you're going to be used to that. But if you're waking up and eating the standard American diet, typical breakfast, it's toast, things like that, and if you're trying to lose weight, that's exactly what you should cut. Now, you're not going to cut breakfast. You're going to cut breakfast in the morning. You're going to push back the first meal later in the day. For example, today I woke up at 10 a.m. My first meal, which was a grass-fed sirloin steak, was at 4:30. 6.5 hours. And then I worked out. I could have worked out before, then ate my first meal. It just depends on the schedule. I actually like working out first and eating. I like breaking my fast with my first big meal a day post-workout, but that doesn't always happen. It just depends on my schedule. Either way, I have that metabolic flexibility. So Wahlberg, maybe he eats 2,500, 3,000 calories a day, let's say. I guarantee you he would feel better, he would perform better, he'd probably get better results, and he'd have a simpler life if he started skipping breakfast. Here's why. Fasting has a million benefits for longevity. It has a million benefits for increasing insulin sensitivity, burning fat, stimulating ketosis, just on and on it goes, right? Wahlberg, he's under the paradigm that if I skip breakfast, I'm going to eat less calories, I'm going to lose my gains. But that's not what happens at all. There's a protein sparing effect when you fast, in fact. Your body doesn't just burn off muscle mass, right? When we don't have food. That would be a very, very, very bad survival evolutionary adaptation that our species, we would have died off a long time ago if that was the case, right? So when we go periods of time without food, our body is signaling, oh, wow, we need to go hunt. We need to go gather. We need to find food because there's no food right now. So it actually preserves muscle mass, and it actually helps you focus so you can get better at finding food. That's another thing people don't really realize. A lot of people that fast talk about the cognitive benefits, right? But it makes sense. If you are without food in nature and you need food, right? Because in nature you have to find it or you can die. Your focus is enhanced so you can get better and be more successful in a hunt or a gather or whatever. Some crazy stuff. So the reason Wahlberg is wrong here, and I'm sure they're just being playful, whatever, and at least they're promoting intermittent fasting, which I think is great. If he just moved his first meal back late in the day, and maybe he fasted during his workout, after his workout even, whatever it is, there's a million ways to do it. Let's say he did his first workout, then he ate. I guarantee you he would feel better and get better results because he would get all the benefits that come from pushing meals back and getting into that fasted state, which is 13 to 16 hours is when you really get in and you get ketone production, your insulin comes down and your body can go into fat burning mode. It's Mark's a pretty lean guy, but I've seen some recent examples where he's kind of puffy and a little bit chubby. He probably could, not probably, I know he could benefit from fasting. So let's just finish this out.
Way to do this. Mano in a gym. We're gonna be in one deal is he promised already he's gonna have a big beer and a burger. I go in empty stomach, we go head to head. And endpoints are survival and vomiting.
Okay. All right.
Enjoy your Cheerios.
Don't do it, Dr. Oz. Don't do it.
Mikey says this is hilarious compared to a rat beef. This is what the mess is going on. Matt says the best part was Mark saying you don't want the smoke.
Yeah, I love that. That's so great.
Christine says definitely Mark, Dr. Oz overstepping, good for ratings. Yeah, I'm sure this definitely helps Dr. Oz. He's having a feud with the
It would be fun competition to watch. I just don't want to see Dr. Oz die from trying to work out the way Mark Wahlberg works out.
You don't need to rush this. So that's my thoughts on this. Fallacy that people fall into is they look at what Mark is saying, they look at his physique, and they say, oh, I want that. First of all, Mark is a genetic specimen for many reasons. He, like I said, may or may not cycle steroid or GH use behind closed doors. He probably does from time to time. A lot of actors do. It's a very common thing, in fact. These actors that get big for these big parts, whether it's Thor, whether that's the one Superman actor, these guys don't go from lean average guys to 200 plus pounds of solid muscle by just getting in the gym and eating right. I'm just telling you, it doesn't happen. Some people can do that. Some people are easy gainers and they can just literally do 5 push-ups and the next morning their biceps are bulging. For most people though, that doesn't work. The human body is not designed to carry around a lot of muscle mass. The human body is designed to be lean, fit, strong, agile. That's what would have been conducive for survival in the wild. If you look at the bodybuilding community and you look at anything like that, that's around building lots and lots of muscle, there is a lot of exogenous substance use, meaning outside the body, in the body. Most people don't have the genetics. Some people do. Some people are born huge with lots of muscle and they can put on muscle no problem. I'm envious of those people in some ways because I'm definitely a hard gainer. It takes me forever to put on muscle, and if I don't have training, I'll turn into a twig. Be aware of the N=1 fallacy. Don't look at somebody like Wahlberg and then hang on every word that he tells you In fact, like for the most part, you don't even need to look at his training program or his eating program. It doesn't matter, right? He's already kind of at the upper echelon of bell curve, right? Like he's already a unique, he's a famous actor, right? And he's got good genetics. So already he's somebody that you should discount and not really pay attention to. People that look a certain way try to give you advice about what got them that way. And that's reasonable. But the problem is the N equals 1 fallacy. Those things that happen for people, especially people we see on YouTube or in entertainment, most of them are already a small percentage of the bell curve. They were already genetic specimens. They were already genetically gifted. So you have to be very, very careful listening to these people. Finally, the final point is, like I said, if Wahlberg did this for 30 days, I guarantee you he would become an advocate for it. And then when he really understood that it's not about reducing calories, it's just about compressing calories into a certain window, you know, it's like, I guarantee you he would enjoy it because he would actually get more GH production, more insulin sensitivity, which helps with fat loss and muscle gain. He'd be better in every way. And it'd be simpler. You can wake up, you don't have to make breakfast or worry about food. You just wake up and do what you want. So let me know what you think about this in this video. If there's any other videos you want me to cover, drop it below. Like and subscribe, comment, do all those things, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, Colin here. Thanks for watching that video. I got a free PDF for you, The 7 Principles of Living Wild. Short and sweet, not long, not gonna be a novel you have to read or anything, just a simple reference of the things that make you a healthy human. So click on the button below, get that right now, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.